All right, Shalom Israel, giving all praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Rakah Kadash. Barakatah Yahweh Barakatah Shai, double honors to the apostles, elders, bishop, great millstone. Most salutations to the brothers teaching word for the hopeful elect, soon to be elect, most high will. The hopeful extended elect, Shalom. Getting right into it, man. Men are not equal to women. And I looked up in Google and asked, does the Bible say that men and women are equal? The Bible portrays men and women as equal in God's eyes, and that's not true. Nowhere in the Bible does it say. It says both created in his image. Just because you created in the same image and the same likeness doesn't make you equal, man. Like, we're all I just thought about an example. I'll think about it later. But we don't have the same private parts, man. They don't have mustache and beards and all that. You know what I'm saying? They don't, and it plays a part because of the life that we live as human beings on Earth. You know, men are stronger. You don't have, when it comes to even boxing and all those sports, physical sports, they have a whole separate category, women's category, before women. You don't see male boxers fighting female boxers, so forth. You don't see men of the NBA intermingled with the women basketball players. WNBA, I think it is. Um, Mistreatment of women and all that, abuse of women. You know, that's a thing in the earth. You know, but the Bible clearly tells you. Let me see. Let me get that scripture. It says 1 Corinthians 11:3, but I would have, hold on. But I would have you know that the head of every man is, well, it says Christ, but it's Yahweh Shai, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Yahweh Shai is the Most High, who they call Christ, which is the head of man, and who they call God, which is Yahweh, the head of Yahweh Shai. And that's the order, you know? And I remember back then in the days, women used to cook for men. They used to be in the place of servants, so to speak, and they had no problem with that, you know? Um, it says, both created in his image and equally capable of redemption through faith in Yahweh Shai. Now, it's the such thing as a hopeful elect woman. You know, certain women are gonna be saved with the elect men, but it clearly says in the scripture, the flock of his pasture are men. I'll get that, but particularly in family and church context, it did not suggest one gender is inherently superior or inferior to the other. So Christianity is a simp religion, man. It's a simp ass religion. And all them R&B, soft ass R&B songs, they came from the church. That gospel stuff, you know, down on bending knee stuff, that came from the churches, man. Flock of my pasture, man, King James Version. Ezekiel 34:31. It says, and ye my flock, the flock of my pasture are men, and I am your power, said the Lord Yahweh. By Hashem Yahweh Shai. So, and all the what do you call it? So like we live in a hypocritical era. I mean, so much more than then. But our people are very hypocritical. Women love taller men, stronger than them. You know, it's in them to want their man to be dominant, superior. You know, um, and so forth, man. So um, it's very clear in the scriptures. I don't know how they could believe, claiming themselves to believe in the Bible, and the Bible clearly says the order that we go by, that we should go by. And 1 Corinthians 11:3, man, you know, head of the woman is the man, you know. It tells you even the woman to be in silence, you know, obedient to her man. And we're the men are the leading forces to these things that's built on the earth. All the railroads, all the the trains, the bridges, um, the houses built by men, man. Women didn't do that shit. So if they were the head, you know, they would have it would have been nothing built. And then they said, well, we didn't say the head. We're equal. Well, I don't see even in the construction on them construction sites. I never see women, you know, lifting heavy things is all men, you know. So women have to have they got to get a reality check, man. You know, and then they feel like, well, the world is against them because they can't have a proper uh, there's no proper structure in the family household because you know they want to be equal, man, and they want to observe authority over men. Uh, it says, but I suffer a woman not to teach. 1 Timothy 2:12. I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the men, but to be in silence. And you look up that word. Let's look up that word, usurp. Uh, and I don't think they got a word for it, but they're pointing out authority.
Strong's G 831. Authenateo. Authenateo.
One who acts in his own authority, an absolute master, to govern, exercise dominion over one. Has there ever been a woman president in America? No. Been all men. Why isn't even by anybody said anything about that? As much as they, have this democratic views, Republican views. Why hasn't there been a real hard, heavy protest that a woman should run the United States or be a president, over the United States? Because it's not really attractive or likable. It wouldn't be attractive or likable, man. You know, so it's in the spirit of people, regular people, people that you know anybody to have men ruling. You know, um, but with us, And our women, that's not the case. And this, you know, they would rather not have that. You know, um, even they joked about when Obama, because they think he's an Israelite, he's a Hamite, or whatever. He's a heathen, not of our nation. But they use a joke about, and he used a joke himself about, yeah, Michelle, I have to be home in time so she won't get mad. I don't pick arguments with her, and they made jokes out of that, you know. And see, the so-called black woman let the so-called white man do anything and rule with no problem. Uh, but when it comes to home people, home men, there's a problem. You got to be equality. No woman has protested when Hugh Hefner was alive. No woman protested, you know, against him having a house full of women running around, and there was no uh, accusations of any kind of wild parties. And he ran a Playboy mansion and all that. Never got caught up in any sort of speech scandals. And they came out with all that information after he passed. Like, these were his women. This is what he did. He partied. Maybe he was a little bit smarter, but I'm pretty sure they could have got him for anything regarding uh, women in his domain, in his place, even underage women. But nobody says shit about that. And if he was a so-called black man, tables would have turned, like 360. They would have got him for all kind of criminal charges, man. So, and so much the issue is not, you know, that we can have more than one woman. It's the so-called black man, starting with the so-called black man, Latino, Native American. They can't have one woman. I mean, more than one woman. You know, because of the the curses, of course, because of how it's been labeled, how it's been you know how this thing has been going in America. You know, um, this publication of abuse toward women for some reason, out of just heavy abuse. It's publicized heavily. You know, even in subliminal ways, and then you be like, and then they well, we fighting for equal rights. We fighting for rights. Men abusing us, men, you know, using us as prostitutes, whores, or whatever. And then what they today willing they willingly do hoardism. You know, they willingly do that shit, man. And you have a rapper and he's dancing in front of he having these women dance in front of him, and it's like 15, almost butt naked women in the video, and they be like, look at these niggas, I saw they using women in the video, and what about the women? They grown ass women willing to be used in the video, man. They ain't got no problem with it, you know. But we living in a hypocritical world, man. Our people are hypocrites for sure. Um, you know, what else to say? And you can find somewhere, might not be in the etymology, but woman means servant. Basically, yeah, a female servant, a woman, right here. Now, do we serve? Yeah, we serve Yahweh. We serve Yahweh Shai. It said I showed you a scripture where it says, um, um, the order, and it says in the scriptures too, if a man getteth a wife, he getteth a possession. Sanctioned union. woman, human, female, lady, same thing. And it says the woman was made for the man. Let me get that. Now, like I said back then, they used to cook and clean for a man. They used to fall head over heels for a man. You know, like I said, when a lot of women go to these Chris Brown concerts, these who else is prominent? Uh, you know, what Drake, Kendrick Lamar, any of these rappers, these R&B singers with all the women like them at the same time. They all try to get backstage. They all try to get in the VIP. They ain't worried about the other women. You know, they dream and they had the pictures on the wall. They have them in their phones and all that. That's how women supposed to be in love with us and shit, man. But is that today? Is that what it is? Nah, cause they fall in the tread of this harlot man, which is America. Uh, made woman made for the man. So no matter what you believe, Most High have already put the order. He made man the head. It says Adam was formed first and then Eve. But with the heart, man, yeah, it never pops up, man. Woman made for man. 1 Corinthians 11 and 8. For the man is not of the woman. So, even though you're born as a baby in a woman's womb, that don't mean we of the woman. Clearly says that right here. We're not of the woman. And like apostles, elders keep saying, we can bring back Israel through these other nations, women. You know, neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. So they were made to cook for it, to clean for it. They was made. What do women when the baby comes out of the womb? The woman get the nursing straight from her breast. She get the nursing, man. Especially if she has a boy, because that's how her seed lives on. If she enjoys her children, let's say a woman enjoys children. Let's say a woman has 10, 12 children. She enjoys them. She wants more and more. And how is she gonna have babies without the man if she loves babies? Now they got sperm banks and all that bullshit, but you know where sperma in Greek sperm in Greek is sperma. You know where that comes from? It comes from the man, man. And let me look that word up right quick in the etymology. And it reminds me of the word germ. Probably have some similar. Male seminal fluid, man. It didn't say female. Male seminal fluid. Male seed of any kind of thing you deal with seed is dealing with the man, the fruit of your loins. Yeah, it comes out the woman's womb, but we planted the seed inside the woman, man. So, like we say, you're incubators, man. You wouldn't have nothing in your womb. Women into Christmas and shit. They love Christmas. We denounce that shit. But if they get a gift, or it don't even have to be Christmas. I'm just saying, if they get a gift and they get a box, you get a box, and somebody says it's a gift, and you open it up and nothing's in there, you're gonna be mad, or you gonna it's a waste of time. So if nothing's in their box, they got a box, but if nothing's in it, it's the wait. They're a waste of time. They're no good. That's why it was a reproach for women not to for a woman not to have a baby, because she wasn't worth shit without nothing being in a womb, without bringing some forth of the man, his seed, his origin, his heritage. Otherwise, you just what are you here for? You know, it says to spread, to sow. That's what men do, from which seed sparse. That's the spore. That's where they get the word diaspora. Scattered seeds. This seed you scattered, and the man carries the seed, man. To sow, scatter. You see the words right here, man. So when it talks about the scattered ones, it talks about the males. When it talks about uh, the pasture, like it says in scripture, it talks about the man. Most High is chosen is talking about men. To you, sons of men, as the word sent to the Israelites, because they came from the loins of men, their fathers. You know, so you know it should be it should be easy to see, man. Seed of plants, also of animals, literally, and even like the lions and the bears, the men, I mean, the male, the dominant. In the Most High said in the beginning, He made male and female. It was an order first. It was an order back then, because He said Adam was formed first, and then the woman. You know, man was uh, man was not made for the woman, but the woman for the man. So that was already set up. Even though He made male and female, they're not equal. They have periods. We don't. We have seed. They don't. You know, all if they want children and they say, "Oh, fuck the black man," guess what they gonna have to get with a man of these other nations. They're gonna have to get with some kind of man, because they can't have seed by themselves. And you say, well, you know, you might say the same thing about us, but it's more women than men, and it's more choices out there, and everybody loves us, so-called black men, starting with the so-called black man and Latino Native man. Everybody loves us, so it ain't no way we're gonna go without women. But it's a point in time where I mean, where women are, especially the black women, are starting to understand, like, damn, I am lonely. Damn, I am like 50 to 60 years old and not married. You know, I am, have these many children and no one able to take care of them or want to take care of them. You know, we don't have that problem, man. Now they might say, hey, you don't love your children, you're deadbeat, dad, whatever. But they know that even with them saying that, we could be popping another woman, and we could have children and take care of our children with the new woman. So they can't say we're deadbeat daddy. What about me taking care? It must be you, because I'm taking care of mine over here. All my children are fed, and all of them are doing well. But that child that I had with you ain't doing so good, because you had custody over them, and you trying to keep them, and you're trying to make discourse and all that. So, you know, like we always say, man, they hold no accountability, you know, and they just an empty box into some the gift that keeps giving get put inside them. You know. So yeah, we gonna have plenty of women, and we gonna know how to, you know, and they gonna love it, man. Every minute of it. Like they say, have a saying, loving our dirty draws, even though we're gonna be pure in the kingdom. But you know what I'm saying? That saying, you know. Anyway, hopefully it was edifying. Shalom.